Hello. Okay. Let's continue. My gosh, it's been such a long time. When was the last time I played? What happened last night? Last night. Did you know someone was killed in the cabin next door to this one last night? One of the crewmen told me this morning when I was eating breakfast. The man who died, he was a friend of mine. Oh! That's why we're trying to find out what happened. Did you notice anything unusual last night? Perhaps you heard a strange noise, for example? Perhaps people talking? Perhaps the ship was absorbed in a wild tempest? What the heck? Dude, perhaps everyone on board would have noticed if that happened. Miss Pavlova, is there anything you can tell us? I don't know. I'm sorry, but all I could think about last night was what I had done and whether they would find me. I didn't notice anything that was happening around me. Oh, I see. You've run away from your ballet company, haven't you? The Novovich Ballet? Yes. I am traveling to Great Britain, and from there, I want to go to America. I will never dance again. I want to forget everything about the ballet. I will start a new life. I don't know how to do accents, so I can't do like a German accent for it. You wish to forget a challenging proposition when you have that striking tiara as a reminder. But the tiara is mine. I need to live. I have no money of my own. The Novovich Ballet gives us only a little food and water, and we must dance all over the world. I had to run away. I had no choice. If I stayed, it would have killed me. Oh my. So you ran away to protect yourself? Yes, and the crew of this ship. They have all been kind to me. They let me come on board, and they said I could hide in this cabin. If that is indeed the truth, Miss Pavlova, it creates a most intriguing conundrum. Yes, it does. What do you think about it, Mr. Naruhodo? Me? Oh, well, yes, of course. I think we should hear Miss Pavlova's explanation. To what conundrum, I'm not sure, but... Miss Pavlova, allow me to pose your riddle. According to this newspaper, it was only yesterday that you absconded from the ballet. Now, that being the case, it must have been last night that you boarded this vessel. However, the SS Beria stopped by no port last night. Ah, that's it, of course! So how is it, pray, that you come to be aboard? That's a good question. Now that I think about it, the crewman outside the cabin acted very strangely when we mentioned that. It was just after we asked him about when the occupant of this cabin came aboard. That is not your business. Yes, you're right. They did seem to be hiding something. An angel descended from the heavens, bringing grace and beauty to the stage. Sorry, what was that? It is how the Russian newspapers described one of my performances. And that is how I came here too. I descended from the heavens, because I am an angel. I can't imagine saying that to someone unironically. Considering English isn't your mother tongue, your description is very vivid. Mr. Sholmes once said, I never can resist a touch of the dramatic. It seems Miss Pavlova is the same. A genius descended from the heavens, bring grace and beauty to detection. Bro, words once said about myself. A quote from a wonderfully extravagant advertisement for the adventures of Herlock Sholmes, in fact. Oh, that messes me up. Yes, Mr. Showy. Anyway, it doesn't look like Miss Pavlova is going to tell us what really happened. So the friend you mentioned is inside your traveling case, is that right? I don't think animals are allowed on board, according to the rules of passage. Oh please, don't tell. Don't tell any of the crew. If they found my precious, then the burly Russians would bestir themselves in unison to throw you and your case overboard, no doubt. Ah! So reassuring, Mr. Sholmes. But what sort of pet is your friend? A little puppy? It is, isn't it? Maybe an adorable little rabbit? Ha, you credit Russia as a land with small rabbits, do you? Oh, don't they have small rabbits here then? You may well ask. I have no idea. You two are miserable bunglers when it comes to understanding the nature of young Ballerina's friends. Isn't it obvious? It must be a chicken. Bro. No! Consider the benefits. A rousing wake-up call. Daily fresh eggs. That is pretty beneficial. And when adversity strikes, it could satisfy the needs of sustenance. So you'd eat your friends. I'll remember that. It's a good thing to say. Well, it would appear this friend's identity is a closely guarded secret not to be revealed. Ah, okay, bro, it's not a chicken. Oh, what am I gonna show her? I don't know. Present. Karuna. I like how I read it instead of just reading this. This is the diary of my friend who passed away. His diary? Yes, and he wrote in it last night before he died. Something a little unusual. It reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. And then a few minutes later, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? I don't understand. It's strange, isn't it? But the ventilator he mentions joins to this cabin, you see. It's up there on the wall. In other words, this cabin and the victim's cabin are connected together. Oh. Miss Pavlova? Has something occurred to you? Does the speckled band the victim mentioned mean something to you? Or the whistling, perhaps? No, I don't know anything. Oh? She has to know something. Excuse me, Mr. Roylott? That was so fast! Captain would like to speak with you. You must come to Captain's quarters at once, please. All right, I will come now. What? You must leave, now. Oh no, it's fine. Don't mind us. No, get out of my room. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The passenger said out, or do you want me to throw you out? Ugh. It looks like we'll have to leave investigating this cabin till later. What a pity. And so we lost our chance. Having not managed to investigate Miss Pavlova's cabin, we were unceremoniously chased out. That is to say, we were quite literally picked up and thrown into the passageway outside. I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that. I wish we'd been able to find some clues to what that speckled band might be. I feel like it must be a snake, but I don't know. That's like the only thing that comes to mind. We didn't manage to investigate at all. And I imagine that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door. Oh, wait a minute. What is it? Well, what happened to our great detective friend? It's a good question. Where'd he go? Darn it, I'm still a prisoner. Can I go anywhere? I can't go many places. Oh, I thought I heard a sound. It's just me. Can I look around? I've already looked around here. I don't know what else there is to do. Oh, I already looked at that. Okay. So I can't go into the second class passage, huh? Do, 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 do. I probably can't talk to this guy, right? I'm just examining the door, not him. Jeez! He's so threatening! Okay, if I go back to Cosmo's cabin, can I find anything there? I'm guessing that's where I need to go. What? Inspector Hosonaga. What did he say? I forgot. He's going to talk to the captain about it. Oh. Oh yeah, it's this guy. Has he been beaten? Bro, are you okay? They're just scratches made by a bear, maybe. When I told the captain I'd given you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fist and toss me overboard. What? But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. What the heck? There's nothing really. Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabin. Yes, so I understand. Oh! I bumped into a man claimed great detective a while ago. What's that guy? Sherlock Holmes. I don't think he was German though. That's a good one. Ah, that explains it. Shall we compare notes then? We can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it. Okay, the cabin next door. What? Nikolina Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door? Should I really be telling people that? I mean, I guess it's okay if it's this guy, right? Do you know who she is? Please, what self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know that graceful angel? You're a ballet fan. You know what they say, if you take ballet, then you're the one hanging out with all the ladies. Oh no, I upset him there. Angels don't go around committing crimes. Oh no. Oops, no, I've definitely upset him. Inspector, has your investigation here proved fruitful? If I'm honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping watch here, trying not to take my eyes off the job. That sounds very boring. Oh, I see. There is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh, what? It's this. This Beria's medical officer has finished his examination of the body and managed to obtain the report. Oh, Kazma's post-mortem report. Kazma-sama. So, what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae is what's written in the report. His neck was broken? Yes, it would seem so. There were no obvious wounds or other signs of injury. So at first I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in the system at all. Well, what weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as of yet, but the fact that there are no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see. His neck was broken? Then the spangled thing that I thought was written in his diary couldn't have been a snake, right? I guess it could if it, like, choked him instead, but why would it? I feel like there isn't a reason to do that. That's so weird. All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck could induce death. It is a possibility, and no obvious wound could be left. Yeah, okay, if the snake strangled him, then he would have died of strangulation, not of, like, impact to the cervical vertebrae. So it can't be that. What could it be? I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, it's fine. Aww! He trusts me! After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this cabin in the first place, would I? Bro! You're breaking my heart! The post-mortem report has been entered into the court record. Oh, Mr. Sholmes was here, was he? Yes, he seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much as he crept about on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now that you mention it, yes, just one thing. But he practically shouted it. It's shoe polish, was all he said. Bro? Shoe polish, I wonder what he meant. That's a good question. I have no clue. It was when he was over there by the piece of broken glass, do you see? Oh. Perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark, do you think? Ah, yes, that must be it. That's so weird. To make a mark like that with shoe polish, would you be putting shoe polish on the bottom of the foot? Like, that seemed... trying to figure this out. But how could he know it's shoe polish? The smell? Maybe? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. No, if it's dried, I don't think you'd be able to smell it well enough. I don't know. What is it, Susato-san? Well, Kazuma-sama was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue. Dark tan? A sort of dark brownish red then? Yes, a little like the color of red wine but darker. I often repaired them for him. Oh, does this mean that this mark was made by the polish on Kazuma's shoes or they scuffed on the floor? Okay, that could make sense, I think. Like, if somebody was dragging the body, maybe that would happen? I don't know. That's really all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post. My fellow crewmen's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yes, that might be for the best. Thank you! Oh man. Poor Inspector, you look exhausted. Oh no! Well... It's just life wearing me down every day. I feel terrible that I failed to protect Sogi-san. He was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were his friends. The truth is, I seem to have had a heavy head ever since I woke this morning. A heavy head? That's interesting. My head's still throbbing too. Does this video game take place before or after World War II? I can't converse with anyone. He spent his final moments reading his diary. It's so weird. I don't know. Do people write their diary like that? Because I don't write mine like that at all. I'll usually write mine... Well, I only write my diary when I'm upset usually. So it's all like it's like 90% depression. I don't know. Maybe if he liked writing about the world around him, I guess that could make sense, actually. All the books provided for passengers occupying this cabin neatly arranged on the shelf. They were all over the place when we first looked around. Oh yes, and you tied them up, didn't you? Are you hindering the crime scene? I don't think there's anything else for me to investigate. Oh, I can look at the shoe polish. It looks like whatever it was has broken clean in two. It looks like a bell to me, but the other half is nowhere to be seen. And then there's a brick-colored mark, which is shoe polish, according to that great detective you seem to know all about. I suppose it must be from Kazuma-sama's shoes. Maybe, but what I'd like to know is, how can the detective be so sure that shoe polish and not something else? I don't know, I just think the smell. Maybe I smelled too much shoe polish back when I used to polish my shoes. I really liked the smell though. It was like, I felt like it was really distinctive, personally. And just a few minutes before he died, Kazuma saw something emerging from it. I don't know what it could be. Okay. Anything I haven't investigated? Giddy? Man. I think I've investigated everything. Oh, I can investigate this dude. Oh, sorry, I just went to the next door cabin to investigate. Why? Who gave you permission for this? Well, Seaman Hosonaga did. Humph. That new Japanese, was it? Later, I will roll him into a ball and throw him in the cold room. Oh no. He's come back to guarding the door. I hope Inspector Hosonaga doesn't find himself in too much trouble on our account. Inspector Hosonaga. Okay. Can I leave? Whenever it like says the date and time, I know I've done the right thing by moving. Look, Naruto-san. Seaman Stroganoff is gone. Strong enough? The burly Russian sailor is always crossing his arms and glaring at us. Okay. All these Russian names are impossible to remember. Okay, boomer. Tra-la-la. Did you hear that? It sounded like someone singing. Tra-la-la-li-la-la-li. I did it the great detective way. It's caroling. I know that lark-like voice. This is a golden opportunity for us. Let's go in that room! Yes! It's Stroganoff, not Stroganoff. Okay, let's go. Miss Pavlova isn't back yet. Susato-san. Oh, where's she gone? Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things. There's not a moment to waste, Naruto-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can. I suppose you're right, for Kazma's sake. Not just for Kazma-sama. What do you mean? I care about you too. She just doesn't answer? Okay. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when you get there. Aww. They care about me, guys. We must solve this case, Naruto-san, by ourselves if we have to. Yes, we will. Okay, what can I investigate? Everything. Let's look at the clothes. Sorry, I might hear it. Yes, why? Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home? Oh my gosh. Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump inside every wardrobe I see, you know? Well, anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside this one. There's stage costumes. Okay. Let's look at her vent. What a beautiful vent. What? Yeah, they just both die. That is a possibility. Anyway, last night Kazuma wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of this ventilator. Oh, we didn't find anything. Oh my! Miss Pavlova's case is open! It's completely empty inside, but according to the great detective's great deduction, she was hiding her special friend in there. Yes, a friend that she had to keep secret. because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Hesperia. I wonder what kind of animal she had in there. And more to the point, where is it now? There's no fur I can stare at to try and figure it out. Darn it. There are just a few books on the desk, nothing else by the looks of it. Are they German? She's hardly occupied this cabin for any time at all. That's true. I wonder what kind of books she likes to read. Let me see. Yes, I see. It would seem Miss Pavlova enjoys reading books written in Russian. Oh yeah, she's Russian, not German. Thanks, I think I probably already knew that. It's rude to ask too much of people, Naruto-san. Kindly remember that. Wait, her books are slanted too? That's so weird. You think that's a god of the sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though. It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door. In Kazma's cabin. Perhaps. Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcase? I don't know about that. It must have been you? No! Not everything bad that happens on the ship is because of me, you know. Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again in here, too. I don't like seeing things in disarray. What if that's proof of something? She's messing with the crime scene. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. What's that? Oh, a waste paper basket. Let's look at it. It's poor Tikto sifting through some rubbish. Ah, darn it. She's looking at me like I'm a piece of rubbish now. I belong in there. However, these are special circumstances, I think. Exactly, we have no choice. Is there anything in there? Oh, well, that's a little disappointing. It would seem this teapot is empty. So the natural conclusion is that Russians are very thirsty people. Or because Miss Pavlova only came into the cabin last night, she hasn't had the chance to make any tea yet? I mean, it could be either. It's definitely that they're excessively thirsty. I'd lay 1,000 to 1 on it. You're rather obstinate, aren't you, Naruhodo-san? I think this is the last thing I can investigate. No! It's just water for the animal. So it has to be an animal that drinks water. Do snakes drink water? How do they drink water? Do they have to just crawl into a puddle and drink, like, I don't know, wouldn't they drown? I don't know. They need water though. There's no way they don't. You're right. Of course you're right. Okay. Oops. Okay, well, I can't investigate that. I think that was all I could investigate. Dun dun dun. I guess I'll know if I leave. Oh, I can investigate this. A bell cord. Okay, let's see if we can, if anything will happen when we leave. No, nothing happened. I think maybe I didn't investigate enough. But, like, what else is there to investigate? I don't know. I think I investigated everything. I didn't investigate the door. Is that the last thing? You can't unbolt it from the outside. It's a very good log. That's what I'm getting from this. It seals up perfectly too to stop any seawater coming in. So you couldn't use the method you told me of passing a thread through a crack around the closed door either. I seem to know a lot of tricks for opening doors. I'm starting to see why they suspect me. Oh no. What's left to investigate? I can't find anything. I don't know. I could try leaving again. No. I don't... I don't know what else there's left to investigate. Oh. I can talk to a detective. I think. Unless I want to avoid him. I don't know. Hello, detective. I did it the great detective way. He's still singing. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yard bit off more than it could chew. And through it all, when there was doubt, it's lucky her luck was about. Excuse me. I solved it all and I stood tall. I did it the great detective way. Mr. Sholmes! Ah! What is it? You want to fight, Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and I was just about to reach the climactic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never going to stop, so I figured now is as good a time as any. Bruh. He's very ready to fight. Mr. Sholmes. You seem to be examining something before I interrupted you. Ah, yes, that. I was immersed in study of the ship's log as penned by the stockily built crewman who's usually on guard here. Oh yes, the ship's log. And did you find anything useful from it? Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of the entries are blank. Which means that there is nothing to report, nothing of note happened, so... Ah! That's so mean. Bro! You truly are a student from the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Ha ha ha! Sorry? Your logic, my boy, is inverted. Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes? Maybe somebody ripped out the pages from what happened. Observe the other pages, and all shall become clear. It would seem the same crewman oft stands sentry in this first-class passageway, and he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Ah! Oh, he writes that in every 30 minutes? Nothing to report? Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there's just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report. Do you mean... Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night, which led to the seaman being absent from his post. What kind of circumstances? What happened? That remains a mystery for now. We can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribbling nothing to report in the log. I see, I see. These are important details. Oh, it's taking my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file. Okay, I did it. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. You're starting to understand what my way is, I see. What makes Sholmes brilliance. Ooh, ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Oh, don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason. Nothing more. What? Why does everyone's head hurt? Is something wrong, Susato-san? You seem lost in thought. It's just... well, I feel the same. Sorry? Ever since I woke this morning, I have had something of a headache. A sort of continuous throbbing. Oh, you too? How has nobody, noticed that sooner? There's probably nothing to investigate here. I should go back to my room and talk to Hosanaga. I think. Unless I should go in Miss Pavlova's cabin again. I don't know. I'll check there first. What? Ah, what's that? Shut down the engines immediately. Vessel sighted a quarter-mile fore. Full stop, hard to starboard. All hands, brace for impact. What the? I think we're about to crash into another ship. What? I can't stand. Susato-san, hold on to me. I'm a big, strong man. Please hold on to me. Susato-san, are you alright? Are you injured at all? I think I'm fine. Thank you, Naruto-san. Looks like we avoided a collision. I think... yes, the ship has come to a stop. Oh my goodness, what about you, Naruto-san? Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. Hello, is anyone in there? Shout if you need assistance. Maybe... No. I was gonna say maybe there was just a there was a collision last night, and and then like he hit his neck on something, but that couldn't have happened because an alarm would have gone off. It's like, I feel like that something like that. Nah, I don't know. We'll find out later, I guess. It's just that all the books fell over just like before, and so I was thinking maybe that meant something. Oh, that sounds like Inspector Hosonaga. Is that you in there, Naruto-san? Unbolt the door, quickly. What? The bolt? Look at that! The door is bolted. Did you do that, Sitata-tan? No, I didn't touch it. Well, that's strange. How did... And look at all the books. They're just like they were before again. Naruto-san, aren't you going to open the door and let the inspector in? Okay, I'm getting to it. I'd better tidy this place up first. It's a lot of work before unbolting the door. Our violent emergency stop had solved one mystery at least in a very vivid way. But I knew what awaited us on the other side of the cabin door would not be pleasant. I hurried around tidying up the cabin with a new sense of foreboding in my heart. It's time for my water break. Somehow, the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Chisato-san took a deep breath, then gently slid back the bolt. You, what are you doing in Miss Pavlova's quarters? Ah, you both look unhurt. Good. Aw, he's so caring! Oh no, he's gonna make me fall for him. I'm joking, please don't think I really think that. Yes, we're fine, thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we're going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. Oh, how did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought he saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop. Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming. Crews are running everywhere. The first class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm? Does that mean that someone pressed that button outside? Ah! You wicked intruder! Dressed all in black, you're the devil! Sorry, me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is the first. You opened my traveling case, how could you? No, it was already open. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Inspector! Yes? Arrest this man. I know he did it. You don't know anything! He is a criminal. Is it not enough that he has killed a man? This is escalating so fast. Yeah, and he's a stowaway as well. If Vixen promises not to steal chicken, do you believe? Take him away. He is a trespasser as well as everything else. Oh my goodness. Stowing away, trespassing, killing, she is right. You are a devil. It doesn't look good, does it? There is cell below deck. Throw him in. Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police. Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hosonaga, is there nothing you can do? This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal to the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options. Oh no. This is terrible. This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. Oh, I can't present anything? Can I run away? Yeah, I didn't think we'd be able to leave here. Yeah, I can't leave. Okay. I just thought it was funny that was actually an option. Okay. What are you doing here? Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. How do you feel about that? Have I not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do not? This isn't mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh, no, no. Well, why were you hanging from that hook before then? Isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles. What? Ah, you again, the great detective. Help me! Help me not get thrown in jail, please! I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you might try looking for me somewhere other than a hook on the wall next time. What is to report? Speak. An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes. The case of the curious murder took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Burya, has been solved. By me, naturally. I don't believe you. You're just gonna be making up some nonsense. Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist. So allow me to illuminate all of your minds. Yes, please illuminate my mind. Ah, you have solved it? Even Hedgehog understands this case. We all knew he was responsible for killing student boy this morning when we found criminal in wardrobe. Criminal! It is a stowaway! I didn't do it! The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. That is a problem. That means the culprit must be someone who is inside the cabin. Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories. Locked room, that is the point. The room was locked. Yes, we got that part. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from outside the cabin. You are all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all. What? Oh yes, there is another entrance. The grate? An entrance used last night by the culprit in order to gain access to the cabin despite the bolted door. What? Okay. Just tell us! Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that. Your arms are as thick as tree trunks. Are you suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening? It's not possible! Ah, but it is. And last night the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. What? Oh, yeah. Are you referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary? It has to be a snake. I don't know what else it would be. What are you doing? There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not. I am ready. what I'm about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold! What the? Oh, it was a snake. How do snakes drink water? Allow me to introduce you all to the band! The speckled band! A snake? Indubitably. Mr. Sholmes, just, one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled, is it? It looks more stripy, wouldn't you say? Hmm? Yes, you're right. I think in this case, you'd have to call it the striped band, wouldn't you? Heh. You both see and observe with distinction. However, do you not think that is precisely the trap into which the culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap? Oh. Oh no, he's gonna explain what he's thinking. It's gonna be weird. I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. There are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one, last night your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. Ah! And number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim's losing his life. It can't be! No! No! There's no way! He can't speak. Oh! I don't know. Is it poisonous? Moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. However, you're wrong! Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous? I guess portentous. Portentous night. Why, naturally it was the friend with which you avoided this vessel, was it not? Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. The victim's written observations in the question tell of a speckled band. Whereas, regrettably, this is not speckled. You wrote in that journal. Oh. What? Oh. That could have happened, but I don't know. If it shed its skin after the crime, I guess there's no telling where it'd do it. But I think it's weird that, like, it could have... I would have thought it'd do it in the room that Kazuma died in. The thing is, it still doesn't explain the writing on the ground. Da, 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 da. Wait. No, yeah, never mind. I was... It said how Mr. Asogi died, and I was like, wait, that wasn't his name. It was. Da, 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 da. He didn't die by venom, so you're wrong on that one. She's so confused. Da, 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 da. What? No, I think that's just the sound that the snake makes. I think it's just a hissing sound. She's so confused. Mm. Why are you making her out to be an assassin? Da, 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 da. You're wrong. Idiot! They're shocked. Do snakes drink milk? I could have done it with one left hand. Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? But of course, what's on your mind? It's just, about your deductions before, some things don't quite make sense to me. I welcome questions as to my method and will answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madame. And reptiles, don't drink milk. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. Ah. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So, I'm not sure it'd be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter. No doubt Miss Pavlova used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bidding. Milk was merely an example. The logic holds. Well, there is something else. The snakes have no ears. Yes, I'm not sure it'd really be possible to signal a snake by whistling. But madame, what of the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute? I think perhaps the performers play the music in time with the snake's natural music movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears! These creatures are so inept as to be practically useless. Don't take it out on the snakes, Mr. Sholmes. There is one other thing. You have more? Snakes use the scales on their bellies to propel themselves. So, I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in these cabins. Then it should try harder. Please, don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have had a part in this. I think, we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh no, you don't mean... Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deductions and turn them out to be the great ones they ought to be. Okay, let's do it. Cast your eyes down to your wrists again. What? My handcuffs are gone? Okay. Da, 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 da. Oh no, her aching heart. She does have a pain expression. Does she have a headache? Okay, I just meant her head. I think she has a headache. Oh, it really did break. Let's present it. Maybe she has a cat. I don't... If she has a scratch. It's fresh. So sad. No. It can't be the snake. That's what the game thinks too. We're on the same wavelength. Me and the game. Where is she looking? Oh my gosh. There's been a picture this entire time. She really does have a cat. I got it. It's so cute. Present. Yes. Oh no. It's adorable. It's so cute. We got her. Yeah, that ain't a speckled band. Literally, why does she have that? She did? Is that a knife? Wait. What is that? A cat's toy? Okay.
Yes!
It's a cat's toy. Why would you dangle it through a ventilator? Oh, I don't know. You waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. Yeah, that would be really weird. Okay. Da, 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 da. We got her. Emotional damage. It was after I gave her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Darka, she is so naughty. No, it cannot be terrible venom. Okay.
Yes!
I had one or the other. His neck was... Indeed, the breaking of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Bro! Steven Stroganov isn't some immortal freak, you know. The jury's out. Anyway, we have on good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm it at the scene of the crime. Oh no! Yes. Yeah, I thought he could have fallen. But then it doesn't explain other stuff like the final message. This could help. Is this what they want? Looks like it. Shoe polish. I'm gonna get a drink and come back. Hello, it is I. I'm back with a smoothie. Shoe polish. Indeed, positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed. Okay. Beeswax, tallow, and dye are my results. The undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. What's in shoe polish? Beeswax? Beeswax is in shoe polish? What? Really? And the color of the polish is a perfect match to the color of his leather shoes. He must have tripped. Please no. He must have cut his neck against something as he fell to the floor, suffering a fatal blow to his spine, and the victim's vertebrae shattered. In that instant, he lost his life. No! I don't know. I don't know anything about this. Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asogi lost his life? Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. What are you talking about? It could be true. Well, I think that the ship must have, like, shifted or something. Okay, get me away from the freaking traveling case. Okay. Oh! Okay, that's important. I found something. Guys, I found something! Present! Oh no! I got her. We have conclusive evidence? What's our conclusive evidence? Oh, there we go. That is it. I was thinking it must be in a picture.
Yes.
If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from Darka's collar, the very glass bell in question. The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And the cause of that fateful stumble? I don't think she was the cause of the fall. I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. Death by tripping over a cat. Elementary, Watson. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. And that is how you acquired the rather nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it? Yes. And I had read the, rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Darka with me. Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must be sleeping. So at that point, you thought it was safe to try and let the kitten back again? By dangling the end of the toy through the ventilator and into the adjoining cabin. Darka always loves this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. Oh, so it really was a faint whistling sound. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then... What? I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out and then... Oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent. Kazuma was... From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems likely that what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS Beria is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Asogi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet, the combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. But what became of the kitten afterwards? In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen. I must have forgotten to lock my case. And now she's disappeared again. Gracious, that cat is as insufferably restless as I am. Do you have ADHD, sir? Well, he knows something about himself at least. When I woke this morning, I heard that a young man in the cabin next to mine had died. But I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what had happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right, where is it? If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it, and where did it come from? What on earth is such a dangerous creature doing on board this ship? Oh, I didn't say? A snake is my friend. His name is Pirotsko. I could be saying it totally wrong. I don't know. What? What? But you aren't allowed pets. He escaped from cage when emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him in here. Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board. Ha! We are at sea for 1 year. You want to be so long without close friend? Without someone who understands? Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? But my dear burly fellow, a gargantuous venomous snake? Surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. No venom. Pritzko does not have venom. He is harmless, very long but very gentle. He is adorable, like Rani. It's venomless? Yes, now he is hungry, so he is in bad mood. Once I feed him, you will see big smile. And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Ha! Like they say they milk chickens? Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. But Pritzko eats mouses. Big, fat, round mouses. Ah, oh, so... Is that what the mousetrap in the pasture out there is for? Of course. How else can I catch my friend's favorite food? Nothing says top of the food chain like the look in their eyes right now. It refuses to drink milk. It can't hear a whistle. Can't climb up a bell cord, and it's not even venomous. How the deuce did something so inept land a starring role? It's not my fault. I do not make up stories. My Pritzko has nothing to do with this incident. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. There has to be more to it. Miss Pavlova. I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in. And I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. Really, I'd forgive her. But what are you talking about, Miss Mikotoba? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events, an accident. I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I'm sure of it, I just can't quite put my finger on it. I can! I confess. I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. We're going to China! Oh! I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, You, Mr. Naruhodo, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. What? Especially as they're on your wrists as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours, was he not? Yes. Cosmo was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom, even. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. Kazuma! Alright, I'll see what I can do. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. So then, shall we begin? Yes. What we should ponder first is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate accident? Or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance. We've already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident. Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? Really? Yeah, his death couldn't have been an accident because of the dying message.
Yes.
The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way he could have left this message on the floor. He died instantly. Plus it's Russian. That. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language. Japanese in this case. Well, I mean, he also just knew zero Russian. There's no way he'd leave a message in that. But maybe he was studying Russian. No. He wasn't. I'm his best friend. It is not a simple language. Well, like, okay. It could be more simple than I know. But no. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry? What do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There is no way that Mr. Asogi could have left his message on the floor, and the reason why is clearly explained here. Damage to the cervical vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. Instant! Which means after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything at all, because he was dead. That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if what Miss Pavlova told us was true. There's something else? Is it this? I can try this one. I might be wrong. That's the glass bell the kitten had around its neck. We already know all about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw? Unfortunately, there's a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. What? That's really what happened. Then how did one half of the belt end up back here in the cabin? Ah! Yes, remember that we found the other half of the glass bell in that waste paper basket. Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no! Both these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asogi died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in that room. That same person deliberately arranged a scene to disguise the truth, in order to cover up his or her own guilt. Yeah! Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asogi's. You're wasting time. Someone else was there? Yeah, of course, we know this. What are you talking about? Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There is no way in or out. Oh, yes. And the only other person in the cabin when the young son died was you. It's true, I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise about the details. But I don't know Russian, there's no way I would have left that message. Yeah, it's true. Not would have, there's no way you could have left that message, to be precise about the details. Okay. Why are you laughing? As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor. In an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I'd been asleep in there the entire time. Honestly, how did they know you're in there, though? That's, like, one thing that I'm confused about. Why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? That's a good question. Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. So they failed to notice the fragment. You all suspect me, don't you? Literally, who else? You're the only Russian here. Seaman Stroganov, my strong man who can save me. Please help. Nina is woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago they noticed her dancing skills and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on the ship, a member of ship's band. You do not accuse Ship's Angel of being criminal. Ah, so that's it. You say that when the young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. But that is not possible. I give my tooth. Well, this is all most interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? Humph, you are a great detective, you should know. Look truth in eyes. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go into cabin. Not Nina, not anyone. Or you want to tell me the killer can walk through closed doors? Yet, it's impossible. Ugh, he's right. But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie a thread around door latches so they can open and close them from the outside. Thread? Are you stupid? These bulkheads are not bond doors. Certainly not. These are watertight doors, as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel with not a gap in sight. No threads or needles or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so don't say that. So Seaman Stroganoff has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily. What? I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind having been used before. I don't believe it! It's because the books are knocked over. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside? One way does spring to mind, yes. Do you really know what Mr. Shelms means, Mr. Naruhodo? You were here for that too. Yes, and so should you. Thanks. Because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have. So, would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Okay. This isn't it. Okay, then what is? What is it? Wait, can I just do it? Oh yeah, I can. Okay, never mind. I did it. Look at the bookcase. See how all the books and things have toppled over? That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before. Yes, that's right. Any small objects aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. And also the lock will bolt. It's the force of inertia acting on the objects. Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move. The lock. The bolt on the cabin door. Ah! It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We'd come into this cabin not long before and we hadn't bolted the door. But then... Hello, is anyone in there? Shout if you need assistance. Oh, that sounds like... Yeah, we've seen this. Anyway... Oh, yes. That's it. When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across it and locked the door. Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by a ship's sudden change of speed. Or the force of inertia. It's inertia. Are you trying to say it last night, after Mr. Asogi was killed? The SS Birdia made another emergency stop? When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over. Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them all up again, didn't I? Then when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing in here. And all the books and everything had toppled over, just like Mr. Asogi's cabin. Oh my. Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova? Are you out of your mind? You say Birdia made emergency... Are you out of your mind? You say Birdia made emergency stop? It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room? No, it's probably just a coincidence. Or they pressed the button, didn't they? They could have pressed the button. Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? You used to trigger the emergency alarm? Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there, telling you only to press the button in times of emergency. On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons around the vessel to allow any crewman to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Dude! Wait, it was you? When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today. Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who... As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed. Whatever the occasion. He sounds almost proud of himself. How dare you mess with ship? I report you to Captain. You are in much trouble now. Now, I'm sure all that can wait till later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learnt a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin doors slide closed. So, what we must now consider... Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asogi, did the ship make an emergency stop, or did it not? You are idiots. Buria is a huge ship with many passengers. If we can make emergency stop even in the middle of night, there would be chaos everywhere. What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruhodo? Fascinating. Do show us. I don't know what he's talking about. I guess it's the log, right? This. Something would have had to happen for the guy to write there, not to stop writing that there is nothing to report. Yes! Seaman Stroganoff. It's your duty to patrol the first class area of the ship, isn't that right? Yeah, that is correct. Why? And the ship's log here, this would be where you record the details of your duties? What are you doing with that? That is mine. What are you doing with that? That is mine. Ah, you rather carelessly left it across a little makeshift route in the passageway out there. But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with a mind to return to you later. I left it there on purpose. That is where I put it always. The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances you write the phrase nothing to report every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log? That is... Yeah, because nothing happened. But if nothing happened, you would normally write nothing to report, wouldn't you? Was he covering for her? He must have been. It shows that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened. Here aboard the SS Buria. Something sufficiently significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night? Stop talking rubbish. If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh, why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed. That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we experienced earlier, we all know what it feels like now. The ship lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night. Well, no, that's a good point. I think it's the reason everyone has a headache, though. What of the throbbing? Sorry, what do you mean? Your head, man. Man! The throbbing of your head since this morning. We have all suffered with it. Ah! Oh, yes. I have had a headache, you're right. In fact, I haven't been feeling myself since I woke up today. Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I expected. He's right. My head's been throbbing today too. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. Then the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I had already been dragged out of the wardrobe and had those handcuffs put on me by that point. Why didn't I wake up when all that was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, you boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yes. Sorry. The stowaway class for accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Well, Cosmo looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes. In fact, I had all of that. Cosmo wasn't fond of chicken. Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all? That's right. He didn't touch it. Is that relevant? My dear fellow, does that not strike you? Oh! Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken? I do. No! Really? Is that really true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. Tampered with by the addition of a soporific designed to induce a very deep slumber in those who consumed it. A sleeping drug? Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop? Oh, it was so that she could get on. That must be it. Well, I don't know. She had to get on somehow. Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a soporific drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator. Well, seaman. I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there would have to be an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew and the captain himself would be hauled over the coals for aiding and abetting a renegade. Please, no more. I will tell everything. I cannot make problems like this for everyone anymore. These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe. Yes. So when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me. We all agreed to help. Everyone together. She threw away everything. Your fame in the ballet, Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel. I think I was doing a very German accent before. Is it German or is it Russian? I don't know. I don't believe it. You are right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night. Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter. Oh wait, no, that's me. Yes, I remember now. I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point. Yeah, we could not make all drug, how do you say, dissolve? Talk about heavy seasoning. At midnight in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angels on board. Our angel. She was held by comrade on shore with a small fishing boat. While all the passengers of the SS British slept soundly. Thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion their evening meals had contained. So if that's what happened, the only people awake on the ship last night with a crew, people who just like chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop trick to lock Cosmo's cabin door. But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case, and there would have been complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. Because these locks are only for the first class passengers, right? What? Ah, of course. Just like us, all the other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins, after which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Okay, I guess that wasn't the reason. Fine. All passengers were already in the cabins for the night. Yes! The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep with their cabin doors bolted anyway, and so not one of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the morning. Dun dun dun! You have talked a long time and said many things. What is point? The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in an attempt to incriminate another. I'm just a little girl. You like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. But I am a sailor, and sailors don't listen to long, boring stories. We don't believe. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes. So I have to show proof, that's what you're saying? A laudable trait. What? I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation of me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes? Do you hear that accusatory cry of guilt on the wind? What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, man. Man. But you can't hear such a call with your ears. No, you must hear it with your eyes, for observation is the basis of all deduction. What are you saying? What are you talking about? I believe the time has come for one final logic and reasoning spectacular to expose the truth. Oh my goodness, I'm kind of tired. If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know someone tried to fabricate evidence by tampering at the scene of the death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two were there when it happened. Yes! I think that would be it. Am I wrong? Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, shut up. Find a trace of something a person in question left behind, or, if that's not possible, a trace of something that the person took away from the scene. Okay. I don't know what I'm looking for. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Uh... Oh! How did he get it there? Okay, that has to be one of them. You seem to have quite a large purple stain on your uniform over there. What? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened, It's so weird, I don't know how it got there. Okay. It can't be this, right?
Yes.
A crime scene photograph. Yes, it's this! And the ink it shows, that's what caused the stain! Ink? What ink? Purple. What? The penny drops at last. Now you see the significance. Alright, yes, it was me. I did it. Everything. I think you're just taking the blame. I arranged everything in Dead Student's cabin to make it look like the wardrobe man did it. Then I pressed button to make Beria do emergency stop, and both cabin doors shut. I did everything so no one would expect our angel. Biff, please. Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty, patrolling passageway. Then our angel came to me. She was white like sheet. Biff, please, you must help me. I went with her. The door to cabin number 1 was open. When I looked inside, I saw a student boy on floor. What happened here? Please, don't tell anyone. My little one. My little furry friend. Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you. The kitten escaped through the ventilator into Mr. Asogi's cabin. Then he tripped over it and broke his neck when he fell to the floor. Oh wait, shoot, that was me talking. Yeah, he tripped and fell on the floor. Yes, that's right. So after the incident when the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova then visited the cabin next to hers. Only to find its occupant lying lifeless on the floor. She said she was worried when she heard. She said she was worried when she had sound of something falling to the floor. That's when she went to look. No, Angel? The door was not locked, so she opened to look, and you already know what happened after. There is just one thing, if you wouldn't mind. What? When you went to Mr. Asogi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead? Why? I already told you. When Nina opened the door of student's cabin and looked inside, I was asking Miss Pavlova. Well, Miss Pavlova? Yeah? Oh. Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark, and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared. I understand, and I believe you. So is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Cosmo's death at last? Something very nearly slipped my mind. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. This photograph. Yes, I took this myself, you know. The cause of death was a broken neck, therefore the victim died instantly. And the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there is one particular area in this photograph that seems to me somewhat unnatural. Is it that his hand's in a fist? I don't know. Is it this? Am I right? I could be totally right. If he fell due to an unfortunate accident, then his fist just doesn't seem quite right. The exact same thought occurred to me. In a fall, one's instinct is to open their palms flat. Yet here we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say, as though he were gripping something. What do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow? Just tell us. Why, of course. Would I keep you in suspense? Yes, you just did. Oh! It's her earring. How did this happen? Okay, I know where it came from. Let's go to the other side. Miss Pavlova, I noticed that on your ear. Even though you have a metal earring, the decorative part of it seems to be missing. The little link holding on must have broken, I suppose. But looking at your other ear, I notice a crescent moon. I don't believe it. Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. There is only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. They've been lying. In other words, last night in Mr. Asogi's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were literally at arm's length from him. Did she push him or something? Why did Mr. Asogi do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it in his clenched fist during his final moments? Oh no. No one can protect you now, fool. Ha 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 ha. Please tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Cosma? Ah. When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship. And then, when I was at last in this cabin, and I could relax after this horrible long day. Daka, wait! I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy, but nothing worked. Darka would not come back. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. The young man from your country, he was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Darka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again and I was going to leave the man's cabin. Just a moment, sorry, but... Oh, yes? I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Ah! Of course, you're Nikolina Pavlova, aren't you? The Russian ballerina? Huh? No, I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the faraway east know a Russian ballerina? Good question. Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. What? Oh my goodness. But what are you doing on this ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment. I can't fool him. I have to tell him the truth and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice. I see. So you've run away? Please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone. Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. He's going to pull that cord. He's going to tell the captain. Oh, he was just going to ask Naruhodo what he thought. Why did I think I could trust him? Then it happened. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait, I shouted, and then... Darka jumped out of my arms and down to the young man's feet. Oh, so he really did trip over the cat. As he turned around to look at me... Oof. I pushed him. Oh no, okay, I thought it was gonna be an accident. I don't know why I did it, I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me. And that's when he went to fetch help from Seaman Stroganoff, who was on duty out in the passageway. I heard Nina cry out and thud on the floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at the cabin door, shaking like leaf. She looked at me and said, "Help me, Beth." Help me, Beth. If they find out, I will be... Please, I have nowhere to go. So you decide to help. And that's when you arrange things in Cosmo's cabin to make it look like I did it. So that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door? Yes. I went into the cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show Nina there. It was there. And then I found Sole. in wardrobe, still sleeping. Right, that's when you found me. So you worked out a plan to lay the blame on the stowaway. I closed wardrobe drawers and put back strange paper sign. Lucky for me, that's the only reason Susato-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged young man's body to a good place and used ink that was spilling to write on floor. I wrote, wardrobe, so that the person who found him would look inside wardrobe and find stowaway. And tell me, what of the glass bell? It was by my feet, so I picked it up. I see. But it was dark in the cabin. I didn't notice the other half. Then Angel went back to her cabin and I finished job. By pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway. Oh, issue. Oh my gosh. Yes. Accordingly, the SS Beria did indeed come to an emergency halt at a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova. What is it? Well, you said that you told Kazuma about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland. It's because you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? Yes. But even if he had pulled the bell cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? It was what you said first that made me scared. What you said first? What are you doing here at this time? Oh, you thought you'd call the inspector instead. That was the problem. You said an inspector was his friend. Ah, yes, meaning me, who was supposed to be acting as his bodyguard. I thought that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before you could pull the bell cord, May I stop you a moment, please, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asogi really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. A what? What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I can't know for certain, but he was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done. No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not yet done, it seems. There is one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? Yes, what action was the victim really about to take at that moment? Can we determine whether the young man's gaze was directed? He was gonna talk to me. Me. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Considering everything that happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however, What is directly beside the bell cord? The wardrobe. The wardrobe? And more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly. Miss Pavlova, please, think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asogi's exact words last night? Give me a moment, I could use another opinion here. Another opinion? Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Asogi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if, between them, they might be able to help in some way, no doubt. Oh, no. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Asogi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you had. Miss Pavlova, I want to thank you for finally admitting the truth. But unfortunately, the truth is a man lost his life because of what you did, and that will never change. Dang, putting the guilt down here. I hope you'll never forget that. I'm sorry. Really. I'm so sorry. What have I done? And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Beria was finally laid to rest. What will happen to Miss Pavlova now then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. What about her running away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort all that out. So she won't be going back to Russia then? No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she'd be able to. She ran away, so now she's in exile for life. Dang! I'm sorry. I wanted to help our angel, no matter what, but I didn't think about you, about how you lost a good friend. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Cosma's death feels like such a waste, but... Well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you? Yeah. Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to Consul to arrange your passage back to Japan. Yes. Darn it. So, you should get back to your cabin now. That's too bad. I thought I was gonna get to go to England. That's so sad. Oh, what? Oh, it's Susato. Naruhodo-san, I didn't know you had returned. Oh, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hosonaga just told me I should pack, you know, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. I can't believe this has happened. I can't believe someone's life can be over just like that. Susato-san. He had such grand ideas for this visit to Great Britain. so many dreams. And now they've been cruelly taken away, just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth, that it was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. It's too much, Naruhodo-san. It's just too much. Yes, I know. I wish there was something I could say. Aw, Inspector, it's okay. I've let everyone down. Ah, it's okay. I'll do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Let me go to Great Britain then. What? Why'd you do that? Why'd you do that to me? What the heck? Bro, stop it. It's not that funny. We do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you. From the bottom of my heart. Not at all, not at all. And though it's a little late, may I offer my sincere condolences? The loss of your companion is truly heartrending. I hope that you will be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port, in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened. Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was a stowaway. I mean, I think the only reason they were going was because Kazuma was going. I think that's the problem. In light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. The majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know? I'm just gonna take the place of Kazuma, yeah. But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. Qualifications, you say? Any qualifications obtained in your own country will be of little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid. Oh, but anyway, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Yes. Miss Susato? Yes? Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it? Ah! But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not. What am I even studying? In that case, I don't think it could work. But as I said, there is still more than a month before you reach England's shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I have a month to study and learn to become a lawyer. Mr. Naruhodo, that's ridiculous. Are you stupid? There's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Will you let me try? Okay, but like, I guess you can. I was thinking, how would you study when there's no internet? But I'm sure Kazuma brought study books, so I guess it works. And if by the time we reach Great Britain I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why put yourself in such a difficult position? For Kazuma. He said that there is something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. I can't let all that passion just come to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Miss Susato? Aww, she's smiling. I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you. So what does our inspector friend say? Are you serious? One lawyer and one assistant. The numbers are indisputable. No, it's madness. Yeah, fascinating, wouldn't you agree? Fascinating. Duty and rules are a dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest, give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character. No? And you've witnessed ample evidence of his exemplary character today. From the early hours of the morning until the right now. Oh man, so many compliments. Thank you. Very well, I'll think of a clever way to word my report to Department of Justice. Inspector, after all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? Yay! I said I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here. Oh, thank you, Inspector! If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next and how best to make my report. Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder. Would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer? It's a lot. I don't know, man. I would be delighted to help you. I'm gonna have so much fun. And Mr. Naruhodo? I'd like you to take charge of this. What? Me? Are you sure? I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Its name is Karuma. It's a great sword that's been in the Asogi clan for generations. Very well, I accept. I'll treasure it, always. So then, Miss Susato, it seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet. It'll be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. Oh no. I'm trapped. He's so excited about it. But before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you two. Goodness gracious me. What is it? Please throw me to the ground. 3 times! What? I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious to me from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. And no matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior. No, you were in shock! You just found out about me stowing away, and the cabin door was closed. No, I won't let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you. Not just once, but 5 times. Oh my goodness. Why are you watching it so closely? Japanese wrestling? Is it sumo? It's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jiu-jitsu technique. Apparently it's called the Susato takedown. It leaves your head swimming, believe me. How beguiling. I'm a practitioner of the combative arts myself. I am somewhat accomplished boxer. Wow, so cool. Oh no, not again! Bruh. In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Cosmo flickered into my mind. Kazuma! Karuma? That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guards me. I truly believe that. So its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there is something very important that I have to do in Great Britain, and I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'll appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing you had to do. I still don't know what that was. But I'm going to see the place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital. In Great Britain's capital. Oh my goodness, I finally get to save. Okay, so I think I'm gonna stop the stream here. Thank you for watching. Anyone who's been watching, thank you so much for dropping by. And can I raid? Guess. Let's raid. If I have any anyone watching. Thank you for coming. Goodbye.